Load the game.
Mm-hmm.
Video gaming time. She
Yep.
looked at me intently. Oh God, the screen share is kind of fucking dodgy on tablets. I'm gonna have to switch back to phone again.
Alrighty.
This is not okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I am back on
Alrighty.
phone. Yeah. She looked at me intently, but didn't find to object. Shrugged her shoulders and kept walking. I went back to the square. I didn't really want to look closely at the trivial damage done to the Genda statue. It was at the exact center of the camp. If you don't know where to go, you should start from there. I sat on the bench, looked to the west, and wondered if Earth here revolves on axis as it should. Ah, yes, we're back with this man. Existential crisis man.
Yep.
Or whether there was an actual north or south. Yep, he's back to having an existential crisis.
Yep.
It's hard to say. At this time, I didn't have any idea on how to check the fundamental laws of nature.
Hi.
Lena appeared next to me, as if from nowhere. Hi. Can't sleep? She looked at me in surprise. Well, yes, it's still early.
May I sit?
Yeah, of course, sit down. I moved over a little. Saying a little was in fact an understatement. I actually shifted myself to the end of the bench.
Thanks.
Lena sat and looked at the sky as if she'd forgotten about me.
It's sad.
What is sad?
That Shurik disappeared.
Yes, things aren't too good. She was as calm as usual, keeping count most of the time. She blushed and felt embarrassed, only when she had to speak or do something. The same silence, which could be seen as awkward, many people include myself, was quite natural to her. I could hardly imagine Lena making an effort to carefully choose the right words to start a conversation, or make a good remark trying to not look stupid, or alternatively trying not to look as rude as Alyssa. I just wasn't able to compare her to anyone. She was just content with being herself. Does that mean that my attempts to start conversation with her could be seen as rude? That the expression become friends could be interpreted as an intrusion into her private life? But something in this girl attracted me. Maybe it was her mysteriousness, and she certainly wasn't lacking in appearance or feminine charms. I didn't have an answer for that. That's why I still hadn't openly accused of being annoying. I'm sure he'll be found. How can you escape from a submarine? What?
Excuse me?
What? That, I don't, that's horrific.
How do you bring a
When
submarine into all this?
this, Linda didn't seem to appreciate the joke. She wouldn't.
Of course.
This camp must seem like a large submarine only to me. Uh, uh,
I hope
how?
so.
Uh, 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 how? How the fuck does it seem like a submarine to you?
That is that is just the most nonsensical comparison I've ever heard. Like why? Like seriously, why?
I'm beginning to get more and more confused at this man as time goes on.
Same here.
Tomorrow, Olga will call the police. They'll find him for sure.
And what if during the night?
Her expression grew sad. What if something happens to him? Alone at night, in the forest, anything could happen.
He must be lonely.
No one forced him to go there.
What if he just got lost?
He shouldn't go walking in the forest alone.
You don't have any pity for him at all. Shurk may be sitting there all alone.
Of course I pity him. Doesn't sound like it.
Doubt it. I mean, Lena's right.
I felt ashamed, and as you should have.
Yes. Very.
In any case, Lena was right. A person was missing.
Anything could happen during the night.
We aren't seriously going to search for him now, are we? He didn't reply, still looking somewhat far away, where the last rays of the sun shined over the tops of old trees, as if trying to leave a bit of warmth with the people. Do you really think that roaming around the forest in the dark is a good idea?
Probably not.
For some reason, I was sure that was exactly what she thought. Recently, I seem to be starting to understand Lena, even without words, more often. And she seemed to be influencing me psychologically, making me agree with her. Lena's silence was more informative than any chatter or attempts at persuasion. They've looked for him during the day already.
Everywhere?
She stopped watching the sunset and looked at me. I don't know. I think everywhere.
What about the old camp?
For the first time, her words sounded self-assured and not vague or indifferent. Where is it? I have no idea.
Electronic told us.
Well, if you trust him. I grinned stupidly, but Lena kept looking at me seriously. Sure, if it's not too far.
So, you do want to go?
Of course I don't. We can, if it's just there and back quickly.
Okay.
Lena smiled and gave me a flashlight, which appeared from out of nowhere. Yes, that'll be useful. Does this mean she'd prepared beforehand? And nothing was up to me? I sighed, as if I doomed and headed to the forest with her. Dots. Night fell on the camp. We walked slowly. Lena was next to me, near, but not too close. It was strange, but it looked like she wasn't afraid of anything. Moreover, she didn't seem to be bothered much about what we were doing, as if we weren't walking in the forest at night, but just watching a movie with other people playing leading roles. Actually, electronics at the old camp was not too far, and if we walked straight to it, then it would be hard to get lost. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure of what we were walking that we were walking straight, and after a few more, it started to seem that it would be a miracle for us even to get out of here. But I didn't want to lose face before Lena, so I tried to walk cheerfully. The forest was full of silent, flickering shadows and gleaming moonbeams. The grass quietly rustled under our feet, and the branches rustled over our heads. Old oaks stood next to young birches. Large mushrooms emerged from under the latter, as if taking off their large hats in salute. On any other day, or rather, at any other time of day, it would have looked really beautiful. It may be safe at night too, but nevertheless, I shuddered at each gust of wind.
Look.
Lena pointed forward. I rubbed my eyes and saw the gap between the trees. In a minute, we're in a rather large clearing. In the middle of it stood a building, which looked like a village school or a kindergarten. The paint was falling off the walls, and there were several holes in the roof, like the aftermath of a bombing. And the glassless windows looked at us sadly and a little threateningly. It was not a very pleasant sight. I couldn't remember how I'd imagined this place a moment ago, It was like all the images had been erased from my memory, replaced by this depressing graveyard view. Well, it's creepy. Lena was still standing silently, but a natural expression of fright appeared on her face.
Do you think he is in there?
I have no idea. Even if I was Shurik, then a haunted house would be the last place I'd hide in.
Shall we go?
But we figured out that this man does not know Shurik in the slightest. So we
Definitely
can't
not.
go off and judge him.
Yeah. You can't assume. Shall we go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I didn't manage to answer. The moon appeared from behind the clouds and illuminated the clearing with new colours. Actually, in one colour, the white of the grave. I could see more clearly in the distant trees, the mist shrouding them. It felt like a temperature dropped several degrees, making me shiver.
Are you afraid?
Lena asked calmly. Honestly? She smiled, almost imperceptibly, and took my hand there.
Yeah.
English, don't know it
Yes.
today. It would have caused a storm of emotions in any other situation, but at that time it felt like a basic necessity. We slowly walked to the building. Walking through the playground, I pushed a merry-go-round, causing it to creak nastily as it made a half turn. Lena shivered and grasped my hand tighter. Sorry, I probably just remembered my childhood.
Did you like merry-go-rounds?
Yes, actually, I don't know, I don't remember. Probably. All children like them.
I didn't like them.
Why?
I got dizzy when I rode them.
No wonder, if you spin too fast.
I liked swings more.
Well, you can get dizzy on a swing as well.
But why would you?
I don't know. That conversation had distracted me a little, and I stopped worrying about myself, about everything, about Shurik, about our night trip, about Lena. After all, this world is not so alien. Finally, we reached the doors. The inside of the old camp building reminded me of a kindergarten, the one I attended in my childhood. At first glance, even the room arrangement was the same. Shurik!
Shurik!
A grave-like silence replied to us. Even the wind outside had calmed down. It was beginning to seem like this is the horror side of the visual novel.
Yep. I can see it now.
It looks like a kindergarten.
Yep.
It looks like a kindergarten that this guy went to, with the same room arrangement. Looks like nobody is here.
Looks awfully freaky.
Those stairs look fucking dead.
I know. One step and you're gone, basically.
Yep.
We should check anyway.
Lena's courage still didn't cease to surprise me. Or should I say, her lack of normal self-preservation instincts didn't. I don't know if this behaviour is strange for this girl or not. Okay, let's do it. We thoroughly examined all the rooms of the old camp. I even inspected the attic. There were signs that people had visited this. Everywhere, newspapers, empty bottles, and other garbage, but there was no sign of Shurik. We returned to the hall where we had started our search. What should we do next?
I have no idea.
Lena sat on the steps and stared at her feet. I think we should go back. I began carefully. It's late and can just the two of us really search the entire forest for him?
You may be right.
She looked sad and her expression let me know that the search was not over yet. Well, I am. I waved my hands in resignation and sat next to her. We should think about the worst outcome.
Are you saying?
No, but are there any wild animals around?
I doubt it.
Lena calmed down at once. He may be sleeping somewhere. He'll wake up in the morning and return to camp.
Yes, of course.
I jumped to my feet and started to walk in circles around the hall. I really wanted to leave this place, to get out of the forest, but it was as if Lena's behavior was keeping me here. I wanted to go on and persuade her, but then I noticed something on the floor. It was a trap door, and there were little heaps of garbage and dust around it. It must have been opened recently. Look,
Do you think Shirk is there?
Lena squatted and pulled the hatch open. It may not be Shurik, but someone surely used it recently. I had already regretted finding the damn gate to hell.
Let's check it out.
The trapdoor wasn't very heavy, so you could open it without much effort. I directed the flashlight into it and saw a ladder go down a couple meters. Looks like a cellar.
Let's go down.
I looked at Lena for a few moments, trying to understand what was on her mind. Did she have a craving for adventure like Ulyana? So, where is her youthful spirit then? Or maybe she just went a bit nuts. Lena didn't seem like a crazy person. But anyway, who even said she really is a human and you could evaluate her with a human being behavioral logic? That thought should have scared me, but somehow I didn't pay attention among the millions of other thoughts. Some of them were more important. For example, what could be down there? I climbed down and looked around. Everything is okay. After I made sure that there was nothing to be afraid of, I called Lena. We stood in a long corridor, which certainly wasn't a cellar. Its architecture resembled more KGB dungeons or a subway maintenance tunnel. I don't know which would be better. There were countless wires along the walls, fastened by metal hooks every half-meter. There were lamps under the ceiling, covered by rusted shades. Crumbled concrete crunched under our feet unpleasantly.
Shall we go?
Lena without any emotion. Where to? There?
Well, yes. What if Shirk is there?
What would he be doing there? In any case, I really wasn't able to refuse her today, so we forgot about our fear and headed into the darkness. Lena walked next to me, holding my hand. The silence of the dungeon was interrupted by the only sound of our steps and water dripping from the ceiling. We moved forward slowly, maybe too slowly. I felt a sudden urge, So,
Surge of claustrophobia? Alright.
are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah. What's going on? Hello?
Let's get to this.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. The technical difficulties are gone now.
Yes.
I gritted my teeth and squeezed the torch, loosening my grip at once, fearful of breaking our only source of light. Lena kept silent, and her silence seemed louder than any words. I started to fear. Say something.
Door.
What? I think she sees a door.
Yes. There's a door.
Yes, you just see a door. She pointed forward. We came to a massive metal door with a biohazard sign. This is going to be fine and dandy, right?
This is gonna be fun.
Looks like a bomb shelter.
Yes, I heard something about it.
Why is it here?
I have no idea. Maybe because of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cuban. I estimated the approximate time of constructing the camp. Makes sense. However, building a bomb shelter here was like building an airport at Faggot in Northumberland, or Lecoq in
Ex-
Wiltshire in the UK.
Excuse me? Those names are they for real?
Ah, yeah, Faggot and Lecoq are real places.
Jesus, wow. Okay.
It's just like we also have a holiday resort in the UK called Sandy Balls.
That's funny.
It wasn't deep enough and too far away from civilization. The door wheel duly creaked. I had to push it with all my strength before it turned a couple of times. I made up my mind and opened the door with difficulty. We entered the room, which seemed to be the main living quarters. There were some beds, cases, scientific equipment. They had been thoroughly prepared for a nuclear apocalypse. There's also many radios there.
Yeah.
We didn't find a sign of Shurik there though.
Look.
Lena was holding a flare gun and smiling.
Oh boy.
Why would I need it?
To fight monsters.
Yes. There are no monsters here. At least I wanted to believe that.
If you say so.
I guarantee it. I didn't want to upset her, so I took the flare gun into my belt. It might come in handy. But we thoroughly searched the room once again. There were 2 exits. The first was a door we had entered. The other one was a door to the exact same on the left wall. For a moment, I felt excitement, the urge to reach the end of this labyrinth and to learn what prize awaited me there. However, this surely wasn't a computer game, and there was no option to save.
Oh.
Ah.
Maybe with this?
Lena offered me a rather big crowbar.
Oh.
No, I'll give it a try without it first. However, the door didn't want to budge. It only creaked nastily, and the door wheel didn't turn a millimeter. You will need a crowbar for this door. Okay, give it to me. It was too easy with a crowbar. In the end, the obstacle collapsed, hitting the floor loudly. The hinges were rusted completely through. I pointed the flashlight into the passageway. There was a corridor just like the one we had come through here.
Let's go.
It was like Lena was constantly driving me on. Well, where are you rushing to?
Me? I'm not.
She blushed in confusion. Again, what should I make of her? First, she doesn't fear a thing. Then she gets lost after a word. You look like you don't fear anything.
I don't know. What
I
should
don't.
I fear?
Oh, fuck! I tried to. Fuck! Well, it's one of these recordings, is it?
Yeah.
What should she fear? That is indeed a good question.
You will protect me anyway.
She added barely audibly. So Lena is counting on me. She believes in me no matter what. It's possible. Stupid, naive, but possible. I knew clearly that I couldn't protect myself. Couldn't protect anyone, even myself. Nothing is up to me in this world. The powers that brought me here could do anything. And that didn't exactly mean the inevitable death awaited me in the end at the end of the tunnel. It could be lying in wait anywhere in this camp. Let's go. I tried to walk faster, but Lena seemed to not be bothered by that, and she easily kept pace with me. This corridor was exactly the same as the previous one. in every last detail. There was nothing shocking about it, but at some point I got the feeling that we were walking in circles. My flashlight in my hand started to tremble visibly on the spot of light jumped over the walls and the floor. Suddenly it lit up and lit up a rather big hole. The hole wasn't too deep, and down below we could see rails.
What's down there?
Looks like a mine.
Shall we have a look?
Why not go further along the corridor?
I don't know. I think we should go down there.
I estimated the height that would pop that would it would be possible to pull ourselves out. Okay, let's check it out. So she now wants to go into mine. Interesting.
Well, that's interesting. Indeed. What's with her being kind of brave all of a sudden?
I jumped down the hole and helped Lena get down. It really was a mine. I wonder what they could have mined here. What minerals are in this area?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, stupid question. Looks like there are none now. We headed into the darkness. Doesn't look very dark.
Yeah. Fairly well lit, actually.
For a mine that's as old as fucking dirt, it's extremely well lit.
Yeah.
It was a hard to walk because I couldn't choose where I trod. Wobbly wooden planks or uneven ground. I wasn't able to stick closer to the walls either. The narrowest of the tunnel forced us to stay between the rails, and I didn't want to let go of Lena's hand. We finally reached a fork.
Joy.
Just great.
Where should we go?
I'm not certain that we'll be able to get out of here at all, especially if we're going to play Pac-Man.
Play what?
Live again. You're in the past, my guy.
Yeah.
Stop speaking like you know the future. Oh wait, you do know the future.
Yeah.
Never mind, we'll get lost. We're just gonna go to the right.
What if there's an exit too?
There has to be an exit to a mine.
Yes.
There may be one. And what if there isn't? There will be an exit. Every mine has an entrance and an exit.
Of course. So, should we go back?
I bit my lip till it bled and yelled as loud as I could. Why yell? Shurik! The loud echo rebounded around every direction at once. Soil even fell from the ceiling in some places. See?
Then I will go on alone.
What? I grinned stupidly. Alone? Where to?
We must find Shurik. He may be...
Lena blushed at once and stared at the ground. No, that won't do. If we go together.
Okay, then let's go.
She smiled and took my hand. There is only one option in this situation, which will.
Definitely get into.
How does she manage that? There's only one option in this situation which will actually be solid, and that's choosing one direction
Yes.
and going with it constantly. But first, we should. I took a sharp stone from the ground and scratched a cross on one of the beams, which supported the walls. Now we will know where we started. Right.
Alrighty, let's do this.
It seems there's another fork in the road.
Right. There's a fork in
Seems
the...
there's another fork in the road. Right. Ooh. Finally, the tunnel led us to a hall with a high ceiling. And crystals.
Yes.
Many crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Although it hardly could be called a hall, it seemed something was mined here. Maybe coal or gold. The walls had been cut by pickaxes or pneumatic drills. This place was pitch black, so our only salvation was the flashlight. Doesn't look pitch black.
Actually very well lit.
If it breaks, it's unlikely we'll ever get out of here. I noticed a red piece of cloth in its light. It was a pioneer's neckerchief.
Oh.
Sure, it was obviously here somewhere. Shurik?
Shurik!
Only echoes answered us.
He must be not too far away, since we found the scarf here.
Frankly speaking, I mostly wondered where here actually was. Where could he have gone from here? There were no other exits from this room. Certainly it was possible that there were other places in these tunnels we hadn't visited yet. That means we have to keep searching for him. Seems there's another fork in the road. Right. Seems there's another fork in the road. Yeah, we're gonna go right. All the right.
As right as we could.
There's another fork in the road.
Damn, how many forks in the road is this?
There we go. Around the next turn, a wooden door appeared in the light. At least it's something.
What?
At least it's not another fork.
What's in there?
We don't have any choice but to check it out. I strongly pulled the handle and opened the door. There was a room behind it which might be one of the maintenance rooms for the bomb shelter. Empty bottles, cigarette butts were scattered everywhere. The walls were covered in scribbles. So that means there is another exit from here. I didn't want to believe that people who had left all had come all the way the same as we did. Sadly, Shurik wasn't here. Oh. I slid down the wall to the floor. We must have been everywhere now. Yes, you must have been everywhere, even though you
Yes.
went purely white.
Yes. As Lena says, not everywhere.
Lena pointed at the door in the corner. It looked similar to the one leading into the bomb shelter. There probably should be an exit, as you said.
Shall we go?
Let's rest for a moment.
Okay.
Lena sat next to me, very close, and took my hand.
It's all right.
What do you mean?
That we haven't found Shurik.
We should think about getting out ourselves.
We'll get out.
Yes, I probably remember the way. Or at least, I thought I remembered it.
I'm not afraid at all.
She suddenly said, after a short pause. That's good.
Because I am with you.
Suddenly, there came a noise from behind the door at the mine. I jumped up at once and started looking for something I could use as a weapon. The noise of heavy footsteps was getting closer. Finally, the door opened and Shurik appeared from behind it.
Whoa!
How was the man in a mine in the middle of fucking nowhere at the old camp?
Yeah.
In the silence, I froze, staring at him. There you are. Did you think you could hide from me? What? Did you think I wouldn't find you? But I did. What is this man going on about?
I'm confused too.
He wasn't sane, that was for sure. His face was distorted by a scary grimace. His eyes gleamed behind his glasses. The missing pioneer held a metal rod in his hand. Are you mad? It's us. Yeah, I can see it's you. He has gone completely insane.
Yes.
He took a couple steps towards us. I instinctively shielded Lena. Did you think you could make a fool out of me, leading me here and there? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. And I followed. I followed. We only went to the right.
Yeah. Oh.
He raised the metal rod. Oh no.
Oh.
Everything after that was like it happened in slow motion. Shurik charged at us. Me pushing Lena out of the way. The rod slowly arching towards my head. My hand with a flashlight going up. Following all of that, the complete darkness, rapid breathing, blood hammering my temples, silence, dreadful heavy silence merging with the darkness. I moved my hand, trying to find the wall, when I felt someone's touch.
Don't be afraid.
I heard a familiar voice near me. Where are you, you damn lunatic? I shouted.
He left.
Which way did he go? Where to? Lena's voice didn't sound too calm, but certainly it didn't sound like it should be in such a circumstance.
Calm down.
She hugged me tenderly and pressed her body against mine. I tried to gather my senses, to recover my breath, to adapt to the darkness. What should we do next?
You have a gun.
Well, oh, good fucking lord. Well, who do I shoot? It's a flare gun, you absolute moron.
Yeah. It's loaded with a flare.
She might be right. I took the gun from my belt, pointed it to the side, and fired. The room was illuminated with a bright red light. It's like the USSR is back in fashion.
Yes!
Yay! Back to the USSR.
Insert anthem music.
The flare lying in the corner looked like a firework or a sparkler.
Let's go quickly. It won't burn for too long.
Where to? Lena pointed to the second door. It wasn't hard to open, and we headed into the darkness. The flare burned more dimly with every second. I stumbled with every step. I even fell down a couple times, but that didn't slow my pace. If it goes out, Finally, we saw light in front of us and came to a ladder, leading to a grating in the ceiling. The flare hissed and went out. Thank God. It turned out we were right under the statue of Genda. The grating was rather sturdy, but we managed to open it after breaking the bolts with a flashlight. After reaching the surface, I collapsed on the grass, exhausted. That was terrible. Lena sat next to me. Just dreadful. By that time, I didn't give a damn about this world, the camp, the 410 bus, or my previous life. The strangest and nastiest thing was that there was nothing supernatural in these events. Shurik just went crazy, insane. Nothing strange about it. I would have too in his position. Lena patted my head tenderly and smiled.
It's all over now.
I don't know. There is a crazy pioneer in the woods, you could say, even a maniac killer.
I think he's gonna be alright.
Alright. I'm not sure about that. Neither am I, to be honest.
Neither am I. Me three. The most important thing is that we're okay.
She still smiled. How can you be so calm?
I told you before that I have nothing to be afraid of when I'm with you.
Indeed, I might have saved Lena myself back there. And myself. But it was only by chance, nothing more. If Shurik had been swifter, or crazier. Thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome.
Though we still should have stayed here in the first place.
You're probably right.
She said calmly. I got really sleepy. Because of stress, of exhaustion, of how late night it was. We should go to sleep. But I'd have to stand up and walk to the leader's cabin. I wasn't ready for that. My eyes closed for just a moment. The stars looked down at me from the sky. Thousands of them, even millions. Now their light didn't seem to be so distant and cold, on the contrary. They twinkled to me, as if whispering amongst themselves, telling merry fairy tales in eager competition. About a galaxy far, far away, and violet fluffy piglets about mysterious asteroid belts where ships have disappeared, and about a fearless starship captain and his brave crew, about exceptional treasures and unreachable peaks of a planet on the edge of the universe. I wonder, is that a dream? I lifted myself a little and realised my head was in Lena's lap. Did I sleep long? I asked in confusion, but didn't rush to get up.
I don't know. I don't have a watch.
She laughed. Approximately?
Well, maybe 20 minutes.
That's okay then. I lay down again, feeling nice and calm like never before. The events of the night were becoming distant, as if I was starting to forget them, like a story the stars were telling me.
Shirk has come back.
What? I jumped on my feet instantly.
There he is, sleeping on the bench.
Lena pointed to the benches in surprise. And what are you?
You were sleeping so peacefully that I didn't want to wake you up.
I felt a shiver of fear because such behaviour was not just strange, it was not just inappropriate. It scared me more than Shrek's insanity in the dungeon. It's called human interaction. This person has needed human interaction. It's called touching grass.
Yes.
A lunatic who half an hour ago tried to kill us arrives, lies on the nearby bench, and falls asleep. And she just sits there.
Nothing to worry about. He just seems to be a little off.
Lena got confused and blushed.
He walked unsteadily and didn't look towards us, and if I'd made a noise.
She was about to cry. Okay, don't worry. There was some logic to her words. She probably did the right thing. In any case, we had to investigate Shurik thoroughly. I jumped up, walked quickly to the bench he was sleeping on, and slapped him. Very smart man, you, smart man. Ouch. He woke up at once. What the hell? Ah, this man is becoming less and less human as time goes on.
Yes.
What are you doing, you bastard? What? Shurik stared at me with a scared, moreover, sane look. What was all that about down there? What? Where? In the dungeon, in the mine, in the bomb shelter. Did you go completely nuts? I don't understand you. And he shouldn't understand.
Yeah.
He looked around. Why am I here? Oh, I get pain just reading these lines at this point
Yeah.
because this man isn't being sociable in the slightest. And where should you be in your opinion? Oh wait, I know. You should be in an asylum. Stop being horrific, my guy.
Yes.
I thought he should not be in an asylum.
Yeah.
That is definitely what he should definitely not be there. You're just losing your own mind right now.
Yes.
I went to the old camp in the morning and for some spare parts, and then
Don't you remember anything after that?
Lena asked after walking up to us. Yes, and I don't pretend. I said calmly and sat next to him. It really looked like he wasn't lying, though. I don't understand anything. It's unscientific. Who cares? Don't think that I trust you. Memory loss can't can't occur just. Shurik talked to himself, mumbling something and not paying us any attention.
Let's go.
So the old camp is a spooky place.
Yes, very spooky.
Spooky place.
Mm-hmm.
It's even spookier in the Mika route.
And Miku's just Miku.
The Mika route is the spooky route of this game.
Ooh.
It's longer than any other route in the game as well,
God damn.
Lena said quietly. Shall we just leave him here?
He's not right in his right mind. He has to sleep.
It's too dangerous to leave this cycle on. He may strangle electronic with an induction coil in the night. Shut up, my fuck it, you absolute moron.
It's going to be all right. Trust me.
I had no reason not to trust her. However, I didn't have any reason to trust her either. Yes, you do. On the other hand, who cares? I wanted to fall asleep as quickly as possible. Okay. You left Shurik, who was still mumbling something to himself.
We're here.
What? Where?
I have to go further on.
Lena smiled. I hadn't thought about anything all the way here. Just followed her and hadn't noticed that we'd come to Olga's cabin. Yes,
Thank you for today.
there's nothing to thank me for. It's just good that we came back alive. We'll see what Shurik has to say tomorrow.
Thanks anyway.
She said mysteriously and averted her eyes. You're welcome.
Well, it's time for me to go.
Lena quickly turned around and walked quickly in the direction of her cabin. I suddenly had a thought that something about that was a bit off, not quite right. After all that had happened, it's time for me to go. It usually goes differently, doesn't it? It usually goes differently in situations, doesn't it? I have no idea what I expected, though. Exhaustion hit me again. Walking with difficulty, I entered the cabin. Lida was sitting on my bed.
Semyon,
She started to talk sadly.
where have you been?
Well, I prepared for scolding. I didn't expect that reaction. I went to look for Shirek.
Alone?
Yes, alone.
So, not with Lena.
Alone.
Okay, just say alone.
Lena,
Okay.
Lena route requires alone.
Okay, so you can't be honest here. You have to lie.
Yeah, no honesty allowed. No honesty allowed in this section.
Alright.
Yes, alone.
So, what about Shurek?
Looks like Olga was really worried about the fate of the lost pioneer. What's so strange about that? Lida can treat her work lightly, but it doesn't mean she's a heartless person. He's okay. As okay as he could be in such a situation.
That's good. Go to sleep now.
Wait, but she turned the light off quickly, showing the conversation is over, and I couldn't ask anything. Though, should I? Ask why she didn't scold me. Still, Lena, what happened today? My thoughts slowed at the pace before stopping completely. I think we should actually stop it there because I need to merge two files together
All right.
at this point.
Okay, so
Save game.